Downtown Los Angeles was engulfed in the darkness of night. Under the dim light of street lamps, the city's forgotten corners breathed quietly. Keanu Reeves was driving home in his car after a long day of shooting. The weather was unusual cold that night. The end of December was passing harshly for Los Angeles in an uncommon way. Keanu had turned on his car's heater and was listening to soft music flowing from the radio. As he approached 7th Street, he saw a small figure by the side of the road. At first he thought it was a garbage bag, but as he got closer, he realized the truth. A small child, wrapped in an old blanket, was sitting leaning against a building wall. Keanu slowed down the car. The child appeared to be about 12 to 13 years old. He was wearing a torn jacket, worn-out sneakers on his feet. What caught Keanu's attention most was the child's shivering. Keanu hesitated for a moment. This area was dangerous, especially at night, but the sight of that little child squeezed his heart. He pulled the car over. When Keanu got out of his car, the cold wind hit his face. He walked slowly towards the child, being careful not to scare him. "Hello?" said Keanu in a soft voice. "Are you okay?" When the child looked up, Keanu saw the fear and exhaustion in his eyes. His small face was dirty, his hair was messy, but there was still a childlike innocence in his eyes. I'm fine, sir," said the child, his voice trembling. "I'm just resting." Keanu crouched down next to him. "What's your name?" "Tommy," said the child. "Tommy Rodriguez." "I'm Keanu," said Keanu. "Tommy, what are you doing here? Where is your family?" Tommy's eyes filled with tears. "I don't have a family, sir. I've been on the streets for 3 months." Keanu's heart squeezed. Such a small child living on the streets was unbearable to him. "Are you hungry, Tommy?" he asked. Tommy nodded. "Yes, sir. Today I only ate half a sandwich that someone threw away." Keanu stood up. "Come with me. Let me buy you food." Tommy was surprised. "Really? But I can't pay you." "I don't want money," said Keanu. "Just eat." As Keanu and Tommy walked towards the nearby 24-hour diner, Keanu didn't know that this area was controlled by gangs. The Red Eagle gang considered this place theirs, especially during night hours. The gang's leader, Diego Razor Martinez, was standing on the street corner with his men that night. 30 years old, his body covered in tattoos, his eyes filled with the hardness that years had brought. "Boss, look over there," said Carlos, one of the gang members. "Someone's helping Tommy." Razor turned and looked. A well-dressed man in a suit was walking with little Tommy. "Nobody does charity work in this area without my permission," Razor growled. "Who does this guy think he is?" Tommy was one of the street kids living in this area. The gang sometimes used him for small jobs, giving him a little money in return. Razor saw Tommy as his property. "Carlos, Miguel," said Razor, "come, let's teach this rich guy who he is." Keanu and Tommy entered the small but warm diner. Inside was an old-fashioned American restaurant. Red leather benches, shiny chrome details, and the smell of hamburgers in the air. The waitress, Betty, was an experienced woman in her 50s. She was sad when she saw Tommy, but was happy to see him with Keanu. "Hello, Tommy," said Betty. "How are you tonight?" "I'm fine, Betty," said Tommy. "This gentleman is buying me food." Betty gave Keanu a grateful look. "That's very kind. What would you like?" "Tommy, say whatever you want," said Keanu. Tommy's eyes sparkled as they scanned the menu. How long had it been since he had seen such a menu? "Can I have a hamburger? And fries?" "Of course," said Keanu. "Would you also like some hot soup?" Tommy nodded quickly. "Oh yes, please." As Keanu placed the orders, Tommy was curiously examining the surroundings. Warmth, food smells, people's smiling faces. He had missed these. "Tommy," said Keanu, "tell me about yourself. How did you end up on the street?" Tommy lowered his eyes. "My mother died 2 years ago. I never knew my father. I stayed with foster families, but they didn't want me either. I ran away. Keanu's heart ached. Do you go to school? No, said Tommy. You can't enroll in school without an address. I just try to survive. Just then, the diner door opened harshly. Razor and his 2 men entered. The atmosphere immediately tensed. Betty looked worried. She knew these men and how dangerous they were. Razor came directly to Keanu and Tommy's table. Tommy, he said in a harsh voice, who is this man? Tommy shrank with fear. Razor, he's just buying me food. Did I ask you if you wanted food? Asked Razor. You're my kid. Nobody can help you without asking my permission. Keanu stood up. He was shorter than Razor, but didn't look scared. I apologize, said Keanu calmly. There's a misunderstanding. I'm just giving this child food. Misunderstanding? Razor laughed. This is my territory, and you'll act with my permission. This child is hungry, said Keanu. There's nothing wrong with helping him. Razor approached. Who are you? What business do you have in our area? I'm just someone passing by, said Keanu, and I want to help this child. Tommy, said Razor, stand up. Come to me. Tommy stood up trembling. He was caught between Keanu and Razor. No, said Keanu firmly. He'll stay here until he finishes his meal. Razor's men made a move, but Razor stopped them. You're really brave, said Razor. But here, courage gets mixed up with stupidity. Betty was preparing to call the police from the back, but Razor noticed. Betty, put down the phone, said Razor. This will be settled between us. Keanu stood behind Tommy. This child is nobody's property. He's a free human being. Free? Razor laughed. There's no freedom on the street. There's only power. You're wrong, said Keanu. Every child deserves to be protected. Razor was very angry. Are you lecturing me? I'm just telling the truth, said Keanu. Razor lost patience. He signaled to Carlos. Carlos made a move towards Keanu, but Keanu was ready. He deflected Carlos's punch and neutralized him. The movement was quick and effective. Whoa, Tommy shouted. Keanu, do you know how to fight? A little, said Keanu, breathless. Miguel also attacked. Keanu dealt with him too, but this time he struggled more. Razor watched angrily. Who do you think you are? This is our territory. I'm just someone protecting a child, said Keanu. Betty had called the police but couldn't get an answer. At this hour, police didn't like coming to this area much. Tommy was hiding behind Keanu, but at the same time watching with admiration. For the first time in his life, he was seeing someone fight for him. Razor was now very angry. His own men being defeated by this man had hurt his ego. Okay, said Razor, pulling out a knife from under his belt. Game's over now. Keanu stepped back when he saw the knife. The situation had become serious. Please, said Keanu, you're scaring this child. Am I? Said Razor. Tommy, come here. Tommy came out from behind Keanu, trembling. Razor, please don't hurt him. He's a good person. A good person, Razor roared. What's he doing here? Tommy gathered his courage. He gave me food. Nobody had ever treated me so well. Razor's face tensed even more. Are you choosing him over me? Tommy couldn't answer. He was scared but also didn't want to lose Keanu. Look, said Keanu, raising his hands. I don't want to fight. I just want this child to eat. Then leave, said Razor. Leave the kid and go. No, said Keanu firmly. I won't leave him. Tommy's eyes filled with tears seeing Keanu take such risks for him. Keanu, said Tommy, you go. I'm fine. No, Tommy, said Keanu. I won't leave you. Razor was surprised. Was this man really risking his life for a street kid? Are you crazy? Asked Razor. Is this kid worth dying for? Every child is worth protecting, said Keanu. This answer made Razor think. He remembered his own childhood. He too had once been left alone on the street. Just then, the diner door opened again. This time, an elderly woman entered. She had a walker in her hand. Her hair was completely white, but there was strong determination in her eyes. "Diego Martinez!" the woman shouted. When Razor turned around, he froze. "Abuela Maria." The elderly woman was Razor's grandmother. Everyone in the neighborhood knew and respected her. "What are you doing here?" asked Maria, looking at Razor sternly. I was just..." Razor stammered. Maria looked at Keanu and Tommy. She understood the situation. "Are you scaring a child?" asked Maria. "Abuela, he's in our territory." "Shut up!" Maria yelled. "How did I raise you? To protect children or to harm them?" Razor lowered his head. In front of his grandmother, he wasn't a gang leader, but an ashamed grandson. Maria turned to Keanu. "Who are you, young man?" "I'm Keanu," said Keanu. "I'm trying to help this child." Maria looked at Tommy. "Hello, little one. What's your name?" "Tommy, ma'am," said Tommy shyly. Maria smiled. "I'm Maria. I'm the grandmother of this neighborhood, and this fool," she pointed at Razor, "is my grandson." Razor looked at the ground with shame. "Diego," said Maria, "what were you doing to this child?" I was just..." Razor couldn't form a sentence. "Have you forgotten the nights when you went hungry as a child?" asked Maria. "Who gave you food? Who protected you?" Razor's eyes filled with tears. "You, Abuela." "Yes," said Maria, "and now you're preventing another child from getting the same thing." Maria's words pierced Razor's heart like daggers. He remembered his childhood. The day he lost his mother, how his grandmother took him in her arms, gave him food every night, sent him to school. "What have I done?" Razor murmured. Maria turned to Keanu. "Do you want to help this child?" "Yes," said Keanu. "He needs protection." "Then bring him to me," said Maria. "My house is open to every child." Tommy was surprised. "Really? Would you let me stay in your house?" "Of course, pequeño," said Maria, "but with one condition." "What is it?" asked Tommy. "You need to go to school. You need to get an education." Tommy nodded excitedly. Yes, I want to go to school so much." Razor felt the change inside him as he watched this scene. The hope in this child's eyes was something he had lost years ago. "Abuela," said Razor. Sorry." Maria looked at her grandson. "You don't need to apologize to me. You need to apologize to this child and this gentleman." Razor turned to Keanu. I did very wrong. I'm sorry." Keanu extended his hand. "We all make mistakes. What's important is learning." Razor accepted the handshake. For the first time, he saw the sincerity in Keanu's eyes. Then he turned to Tommy. "Tommy, I scared you. This was wrong. I'm sorry." Tommy was surprised. Razor never apologized to anyone. "It's okay, Razor. You're actually a good person, too." This simple statement deeply affected Razor. Maria began organizing everything. "Tommy, you'll stay with me. Mr. Keanu, thank you too." "I want to help too," said Keanu. "For Tommy's education, clothes, every need." "That's very kind," said Maria. "But we'll do our best too." Razor interrupted. I want to help too." Everyone was surprised. Said Razor, "I know many children in this neighborhood. They need help too." Maria looked at her grandson with pride. "This is the real Diego." Keanu smiled. "We can work together. We can make a change in this neighborhood." Tommy was crying as he listened to these conversations. These were tears of happiness. The next day, Maria enrolled Tommy in school. Keanu covered all the necessary expenses. Tommy started school with his new clothes, bag, and books. Razor also kept his word. He found other street children living in the neighborhood. He looked for solutions for them together with Maria. Within a week, Maria's house had become a small orphanage. 4 street children were now staying there, going to school. Keanu visited every day, taking care of the children. He gave them life lessons, helped them dream about the future. Reza was also changing. He had quit gang activities and focused on this social project. His men also helped from time to time. 3 months later, Tommy was unrecognizable. With regular nutrition and education, he had developed both physically and mentally. His grades at school were very good. His teachers loved him very much. His favorite subject was English because Keanu helped him with his homework. "Keanu," said Tommy one day, "when I grow up, I want to be like you." "How so?" asked Keanu. "Someone who helps people," said Tommy. "You saved my life." Keanu touched Tommy's shoulder. "You saved your own life, Tommy. I just gave you an opportunity." Tommy smiled. "Then I'll give opportunities to others too." Reza was no longer his old self. He had completely quit gang activities and established a program to help children together with Maria. "Keanu," said Reza one day, "how can I thank you?" "You don't need to thank me," said Keanu. "You were already a good person. You just needed to remember." "But you took risks," said Reza. "You could have died that night." "It was worth it for Tommy," said Keanu. "Every child is worth it." Reza nodded. "I understand that now." This story spread throughout the neighborhood. The local newspaper reported it, with the headline, "Hollywood Star Saves Street Children." But Keanu didn't like such news. He just wanted the work to continue. More people started helping. Donations increased. Maria's house was expanded. Within 6 months, 15 children had been rescued from the streets and started education. Tommy had now become a symbol of this program. His success at school inspired other children. A year later, it was Tommy's graduation ceremony at school. Keanu, Maria, Reza, and their entire family were there. Tommy had become valedictorian. When it was time to give a speech, Tommy went on stage. "A year ago, I was a child living on the street with no hope," said Tommy, "but someone gave me a chance." The audience listened carefully. "Keanu Reeves found me on a cold night and changed my life. But that was just the beginning. The real change happened thanks to Grandma Maria and Brother Reza." Tommy looked at Keanu. "You showed me that we must fight for goodness. Now I want to do good for others too." Today, Tommy is 16 years old, a high school student. He's preparing for university. His goal is to become a social worker. Reza is now officially a child protection activist. The foundation he established with Keanu helps hundreds of children in Los Angeles. Maria, despite being 82 years old, is still energetic. Her house is now an official child care center. And Keanu? He's still the same Keanu, someone who values character, not fame. He still meets with Tommy every week, giving him life lessons. Tommy had written this in his diary that night. "Today I found an angel. His name is Keanu. He showed me that no child is alone." This story teaches us, true power is not in protecting power, but in protecting the powerless. True wealth is not in having money, but in being able to touch someone's life. And Keanu Reeves is not just an actor for this reason, but a true hero. If this story affected you, don't forget to hit the like button. Have you experienced a moment when you could touch a child's life? Share with us in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories of Keanu Reeves.